Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I am Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And today we are beginning our very interesting two-day article all about having ambition, having big dreams, big goals, big desires, and then chasing after them to try to make your dreams come true, to try to realize your ambitions.
Yes. And this is a great word and a great topic because it's something that pretty much everyone who is successful in life could say that they are ambitious. It would be kind of hard to be successful if you weren't ambitious, then maybe you were just lucky or maybe you inherited money. But besides that, you would have to be ambitious and you would have to work hard and you would have to work for that dream to actually do something with your life.
Exactly right. And of course, if you have an ambition and you make that dream come true, you realize your ambition. Imagine what a wonderful feeling that would be to succeed where you've put in all of that time. Sure, you could win a lot of money or have your father, mother, grandmother, whoever give you a lot of money, but you wouldn't have the feeling of really being successful and achieving your ambitions, reaching your goals. And today we are lucky enough to be having a very wise person, someone who probably can tell us a lot about ambition, telling us some advice, writing some advice. I believe this was from written by him to his son, and I'm talking about John D. Rockefeller, probably the first super rich guy ever in history.
Yes, by business and not by kingdom or something like
exactly.
that.
In the business of oil, I believe he was the first billionaire ever in the world's history. So a pretty good person to get advice about having ambition from. So let's get to our article and find out all about it. JD Rockefeller was a very successful American businessman. He shared his keys to success in several letters to his son. One of them was being ambitious. All right, so we're talking about having ambition. This is part one of our article. Before we really get into it, we should find out more about this very important word, ambition. I have an ambition for you to tell me about ambition.
Okay, well, I think you will succeed in that ambition.
Wow, this is exciting.
So the word ambition, it just means to work really hard or have a desire to be successful or to accomplish some goal. So of course, most of the time when we talk about ambitious people, they have done something really big in the world of business and they might be successful and have lots of money. But you also could be ambitious in other things like medicine or art or all that kind of stuff. Probably you still have money because ambition would push you to be the best in your field, which means most likely you have been successful also in the money side of that field as well. So that's why you hear it a lot when we talk about very successful business people like JD Rockefeller, who we are talking about right now. And so our article goes, JD Rockefeller was a very successful American businessman, which I think we could kind of guess from our intro. So here he is, JD Rockefeller, a great businessman.
So a businessman, a businesswoman, or a business person, to talk about anyone who does this, is in the business of making money. That is their job. They usually work for a business, a large company. It could be a company that they just joined. It could be a company or business that they made themselves. They created or started this business, but they're probably making things like in a factory and selling them. Perhaps they're buying things in one part of the world and selling them in another part of the world. They could work for a big bank. They could work for a company that makes things or trades things, but their job is the job of making money. Their job is business. All right, so let's get back to our article about John D. Rockefeller, a very famous businessman. His business was the business of oil, right? Standard Oil, I believe, was his company. Oh, and if you've been to New York City, 30 Rockefeller Plaza. It's a very famous building there. That's the one where they have the skating rink and the Christmas tree in front of at Christmas time. So if you've been to New York, you may have seen this large building, one of many buildings, I think, named after Mr. Rockefeller. Let's find out about him. He shared his keys to success in several letters to his son. Okay, so he was sharing his keys to success, passing on his wisdom about how to be a big, successful, ambitious businessman. In this case, passing on this wisdom, these ideas to his son, to his boy. One of them was being ambitious. So I guess he was giving advice about, how to keep your money safe, how to make good decisions in business, but also how to be ambitious. And he passed all of this on, and that's why we know about it, because it was all written in a letter.
Yes, and a letter is just a written note that you are sending to somebody or giving to somebody. Nowadays, not so many people write letters anymore. They might be typing emails or texting or phone call, all those kinds of things. But back in the day, that was a lot harder to do because it didn't exist. So they would have to write a letter. And also, if you wanted it to be kind of remembered for always so that you don't necessarily just have a phone call and then everybody forgets what you say, then you might want to write it down so that it can be saved and kept and looked at again, which probably makes the most sense for somebody trying to advise their son to be a good business person. Here are the keys. You can get back and refer to those whenever you need to. Check them again, make sure you're doing it, and that way you can always look back at your notes or your letter.
There you go. You'd write the letter on paper, right? Fold it up, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and mail it to someone. When was the last time you wrote someone a real letter? A long time. I would bet more than 10 years.
Probably. Probably the last letter was the letter we were supposed to write to ourselves when we graduated high school.
Oh, okay. So you can use a letter kind of like a diary or something like that. But you're right. Today, most people would write an email or send a text. Okay, let's take a quick break and then we'll be back. Rockefeller called it greed and believed it was very important and necessary. When you're ambitious, you have a strong desire to be successful. Also, anything less than that won't satisfy you. From Rockefeller's point of view, people without ambition miss chances in life. What's more, they don't try to improve or reach their full potential. All right, here we are getting some wisdom from John D. Rockefeller in a letter written to his son, all about being a big success in life, being a big successful businessman like Mr. Rockefeller was. And one of the things he really focused on was ambition, or being ambitious, right? Ambition would be the noun, ambitious would be the adjective. I am ambitious, I have many ambitions. But here's an interesting thing. Rockefeller kind of saw ambition, but he actually had another word for it, didn't he? And this is a very interesting point.
Yes, and so as we see in the article, it says Rockefeller called it greed. Now this "it" is talking about ambition. So instead of saying you need to be ambitious, he might have been saying you need to be greedy, and believed it was very important and necessary. So this is kind of the other side of ambition, that sometimes if you are too ambitious, you might be considered greedy.
That's the dark side of ambition.
Or you might be kind of selfish, because the idea in your head is you want to be successful and achieve your goals no matter what. No matter who gets in your way or what happens, you want to be successful. So that's kind of the negative side that could come with ambition. But that's why he called it greed instead of ambition. So he might be seeing some of the negative sides, but he said this is very necessary to be successful. And if something is necessary, it just means that you have to do it. It is a need. This word necessary is very similar to the word need. Something that you must have is a necessity. You must have food, water, air to breathe, to live. Those are necessities to be able to survive.
There you go. So that drive, that pushing yourself to not quit, to keep working when you're tired, to reach your goal, to be ambitious, that's what Rockefeller was pointing out. And of course, as you said, ambition is great. If you want $1 billion, that's great, but it could also be seen as being greedy. No one needs $1 billion. You can't spend that much money. So where does ambition stop and greed begin? Ooh, that's a tricky question. But back to our article, it says, when you're ambitious, you have a strong desire to be successful. That's the drive we're talking about, that thing that gets you up in the morning, that keeps you working hard even late at night, that doesn't let you quit until you reach your goal, until you realize your ambition. Also, anything less than that won't satisfy you. So you won't get close to your goal and say, okay, that's enough. I'll just stop here. You won't be satisfied by anything until you reach that goal, until you get 100% on that test, until you're the big success that you always dreamed or imagined you would be. And to satisfy is basically to meet the needs, to say, this is what I want and this is what I have. That's enough. I'm okay. I will stop now. And stopping is a good idea of when you've been satisfied, right? If you're hungry and you eat some food, you will eat until you don't feel hungry. I'm very satisfied. I could probably eat more, but then I might feel sick. I'll eat too much. So, knowing when to stop is knowing when you are satisfied. You've reached that goal, you've hit that mark, and now you're ready to say, okay, no more for me. But of course, if you just keep going, then that might be greed, right? Then you might become a greedy person and not just a satisfied but ambitious person. All right, back to our article.
Yes, and so we see from Rockefeller's point of view, people without ambition miss chances in life. What's more, they don't try to improve or reach their full potential. And that does make a lot of sense if you're not a very ambitious person. Then if you have a whole day of free time, you might just kind of be lazy, sit, watch TV. There's nothing wrong with having downtime, but as Rockefeller would see this would be not living up to your potential. You could be improving yourself on your day off. You could be learning something new or exercising or working out or networking, something like that to be reaching your ambitions.
Okay, and potential is basically kind of talking about what is possible, what you can reach, what goals you are able to achieve. You might not reach those goals on days when you're feeling lazy or tired. You might not reach your full potential, but if you work at it, if you have ambition, if you don't quit, then you can reach that potential. What is possible? For example, when we think of a car, you could get in a car. That car could go 200 kilometers an hour, but of course that would be illegal and dangerous. But the car has the potential to do that. It could do that, but of course we don't do that every day and the police wouldn't let you do that. But it has the possibility. It can go as fast as 200 kilometers an hour, but sometimes it doesn't. Maybe your car is just feeling lazy like you are on a Sunday, and you have the potential to go to the gym and clean your house and do all these wonderful things, but you just feel like sitting on the sofa and watching cartoons. And that's okay sometimes. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Our ambition is for you guys to come back and join us tomorrow for the next part of this very interesting article. So please do realize your full potential and come back and watch a video with us tomorrow. Bye. JD Rockefeller was a very successful American businessman. He shared his keys to success in several letters to his son. One of them was being ambitious. Rockefeller called it greed, and believed it was very important and necessary. When you're ambitious, you have a strong desire to be successful. Also, anything less than that won't satisfy you. From Rockefeller's point of view, people without ambition miss chances in life. What's more, they don't try to improve or reach their full potential.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 businessman 名词，商人。那么它的复数形式是 businessman. The businessman started his own company at a young age. 这位商人年轻时就创办了自己的公司。下一个单字 letter 名词，信。Bella wrote a letter to her friend overseas. Bella 写了一封信给海外的朋友。下一个单字 necessary 形容词，必须的，必要的。It is necessary to bring your ID card to the interview. 参加面试时必须带上你的身份证。ID card 就是身份证。最后一个单字 satisfy 动词，使满足，使满意。The meal satisfied everyone at the table. 这顿饭让桌上的每个人都很满意。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 a key to 加名词，什么的关键。Key 在这里指解决问题或达成目标的关键秘诀。这是一个可数名词。我们来看看这个例句。Hard work is a key to success. 努力是成功的关键。下一个文法Point of view 观点看法，它的复数形式是 point of view. Point 指的是要点、意见 ，view 表示看法、视角。我们来看看这个例句 ：From my point of view, this is the best solution. 从我的观点来看，这是最好的解决方法。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hey Karen, have you finally decided what you want to do this weekend? It's really time to finalize these plans.
I've been thinking about it. Maybe we could go hiking. Or maybe spending the day at the beach? I don't know. What do you think?
You're being really wishy-washy. Do you have a preference?
Well, going hiking would be nice, but spending a day at the beach is nice too. Both options have their perks. I don't know which one I'd enjoy more.
It's really hard to make a decision when you keep changing your mind.
Okay, fine. Let's go hiking. But if the weather is bad, maybe going to the beach would be better? Or we should do something else. I don't know.
Oh, no. Hey everyone, today we're discussing the term wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy is an informal term used to describe someone who is indecisive or lacks strong opinions.
Like Karen, when she couldn't choose between two options and kept changing her mind during the skit.
An example would be, you're being wishy-washy. Just pick a movie and let's watch it.
Right. It can also refer to actions or decisions that are not strong or clear. They're feeble and vague.
For example, her answers were wishy-washy. I couldn't understand what her real opinion was.
So remember, it's important to be decisive, especially when it matters. Being wishy-washy can make you miss out on opportunities.
Absolutely, Shane. That's all for today.
Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.